we are back. It has been, it's been a week since we were last joined you. Wes is going to clip in to the jump seat here. Maybe he's going to. You probably didn't. Hopefully you can hear me. That's exactly right. Maybe. There we are. Feed is up. Sound down. Let's hit go. You ready to rock?
Let's do it.
Okay, Facebook, buckle up. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. This is Kinetic Chaos Podcast number 64. I am your host, Will, joined as always by my good friend, Wes.
Right here I am.
He is to my left. We are joining you from the secret underground bunker this week, or this Tuesday. As you can tell, we are recording a day late because of wrestling matches in faraway places. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. How about you, Wes? Let's get a quick recap of the extended weekend. How about we do that?
Yeah, well, that was gonna be my good thing. Is Thanksgiving
Jump
itself.
right into it.
Yeah, we hosted for the first time ever.
Yeah,
so
the
that was
hostess
cool.
with the mostest.
And a quick apology to my wife. I've apologized to no end, and I'll do it again.
Whoa!
Is that she put so much work into it,
and you ate it all?
That too, but. She put so much work into it, starting like 3 days in advance, prepping some of the dishes, getting some of the bread baked so it could go stale for the stuffing.
The whole works?
Yeah. And then the day of, we're doing the last minute stuff, and I'm helping out, and I lose track of stuff. I forgot to take pictures. No pictures exist whatsoever.
Well, actually, I don't mind that. I didn't take any pictures either.
Well, I felt not of like people, but the spread, like what she did, like the 800 side dishes and the full table with placemats that she made.
The cornucopia, the literal cornucopia.
We had one of those.
Food. Oh, yeah, you did?
Yeah,
nice.
we did.
Of course,
she made the napkin rings, the whole thing. Yeah, she did. Oh, everything.
So like this was like a year's worth of content for a Pinterest channel.
That's right.
And you didn't take any.
And yes, I failed miserably in the photography department.
Wow, and the speaking.
Yeah.
You want to let everyone know why you're struggling to speak tonight?
In case I'm stumbling on my words throughout the podcast here, is that I just had a little wee filling done at the dentist. Came straight here. Trucking through it, the left side of my face is not there. So
it's not there, completely gone.
Doesn't feel like it. Yeah.
So if he starts drooling on
so
air,
just let me
watching
know
if
there's something coming down. Yeah.
Exactly, because I can't see that side of it. It's a full eclipse from here, so I can't. I have no idea what's drooling down Wes's left side of his face. So, no, that's that's unfortunate because we can always use content, and you completely blanked that. So
I know.
How did you? You are the picture taker's fool.
And
I
that's
know.
what drives me nuts is because I had planned on taking pictures all along, and then we just got in the flow on Thanksgiving Day.
You were eating.
No, like the last minute prep right before family came over.
Okay.
Throwing all the stuff together, getting all the stuff set out, getting it all arranged, running around the kitchen, doing last minute, getting the gravy thrown together at the last minute, all that kind of stuff. Just totally spaced out. I had planned on it all the way up until the point when we started running around, and then I thought, we sat down and got done with dinner. I thought, oh man, I never even took any photos.
Well, did you get any photos of the clean plates or anything, just so that you could have? Nothing.
No evidence whatsoever.
Wow, so it's as if it didn't. It was as if it was 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
And people, that's what they did. They just had dinner, right?
Yeah, that's right.
There was no photographs for eternity. Right? Without one of those Instamatic. Anyway, that's the way it goes. But yes, back in the bunker. That's right, Steve. We are down here. Well, good happened to me. We had a wonderful Thanksgiving as well. We cooked a bunch of stuff here, and then we went over to my aunt's house, had a minor plumbing emergency where our kitchen sink and bathtub backed up on Thanksgiving, so Kim was doing dishes via wash tub, and so that made everything interesting because what's Thanksgiving without some kind of memory? So we've memorialized Thanksgiving with that, and so we didn't have a shower, so we had to use the bathtub upstairs, which was I'll let her tell that story, but that was all kinds of fun as well, taking a shower in a bathtub. So but no, it was great. Got to spend time with family and all that. So ate plenty. I weighed myself at the gym, and that didn't go well. At all. So glad to be did my 24-hour fast yesterday though, and promptly lost 3 pounds because of that.
Go.
So that was good, and just glad to not be full.
Yeah.
After 4 days of solid, and because I don't eat much as it is, so I don't have a lot of capacity. And between it was like we completely redid Thanksgiving on Sunday, and the full stuffing, taters, turkey sandwiches, all that kind of stuff. So. And my wife made a gluten-free apple pie that was off the hinges. I did not get photographs of it, and she didn't make up the recipe. To give credit where credit is due, she got it from I think Pinterest or somewhere like that. But gluten-free stuffing, crust, whole works. And it was incredible. And she did the streusel top, the crumble.
Yep, that's what Tia did. We had a caramel apple pie.
Oh yeah,
with the streusel top on it. Yeah, oh yeah.
Because I haven't had a pie in years, and this was just incredible. So I will be dialing that up again. That was great. But yeah, I smoked a turkey, and we had and I smoked. If you saw on Instagram, I put it up there. A pound of bacon, and that was next to the turkey,
it was like
covered with a pound of bacon. Well, I smoked the bacon for the green bean casserole that I made, and then I had the turkey, and then I took a pound of bacon and I cut it in half, and I take the skin off or I peel it up from the turkey, and I put all my seasoning in there, and then I put the slabs of bacon underneath that, so you got the bacon grease. Yeah, it turned out pretty darn good. So.
One new side dish we tried this year that we've never done before, because usually we do side dishes even at other people's places that we go to. Parents, we supply side dishes. So one new side dish that we wanted to try out this year that I thought was outstanding, and I want to do it over and over again, is I forget what technically it's called. It's like goat cheese truffles or something like that.
What?
So you get your goat cheese, you roll it up in like a meatball size.
Okay.
And then in a bowl, you have chopped up cranberries, like dried cranberry.
Already.
Oh, dude! So
cranberries. And we already went over this.
Yeah, and pecans.
Okay.
And so you just roll it in cranberries and pecans,
really?
Crushed pecans. Yeah. So yeah, and you just pop them in your mouth. This little bite size.
Wow.
So you got the smooth, creamy goat cheese, you got the sweet, tart cranberry, and you got like the saltiness of the pecans. It's like a whole.
Yeah, I can. I mean, it all. Yeah, wow. Speaking of OPP, I would try that. I'm not big on goat cheese. It's all right. Yeah. Nothing super. Jeremy's down with it.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say I've got to give my mom credit for is we had the big sweet potato talk last week.
Oh yeah.
Or the week before, I have to give my mom credit. She made sweet potatoes, and they were damn good.
Wow.
So I'm not to say that I'm going to be ordering them up all the time, but for that dish, it was awesome. Worked well with the whole meal, and so I've got to give my mom much credit for that. So, all the food was phenomenal, and it was over at my aunt's house. She's got the big table, all of that, and she's got the cool old school stoves that you pull out, and the oven is actually glass.
Yep.
So, it's like from the 50s or something. It's got the glass double oven above the range, and so you have these doors that move up like that, but the actual stovetop pulls out. Cool as can be, and so I like cooking on that. It's fun. The only thing that would make it better was if it was gas. But other than that, it was kicking the pants. And she upgraded her kitchen this year and got a dishwasher. So that was, I'm sure she was very thankful because she does have a lot of family events over there. So having the dishwasher, I'm sure, was a very nice thing.
Fancy.
So, yes, indeed. Well, let's get into the show here. We've got a good news story about a man who got to meet the gal who sent him a Christmas card while he was in the Vietnam War in 1972, I believe. This is 50 years ago.
Yeah, this is an awesome story.
Yeah, awesome. So it wasn't 52; it must have been 68 then.
It was. This was 48 years, is what the article had said. So he was 23 years old, stationed in Vietnam during the Vietnam War, and a 6th grade girl had sent. I guess it was probably like a class project, like in elementary school. So they wrote letters to the troops and they sent them over to Vietnam. And so this guy got a Christmas card that one year from a 6th grade girl. Fast forward 48 years later, he told his kids the story throughout the years, and he's like, I'd really like to try to see if we can track her down. I'd like to meet her.
Yeah.
And so the kids went to work and didn't tell him, and they found her. This guy's in Florida. They found her living in Idaho. And without his knowledge, they bought her a plane ticket to fly to Florida and surprised him. She came walking through the door. He had no idea.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I saw the picture of them hugging. Wow. Sorry, Tracy. I'm not laughing or the story, but no, that's it was neat to see that. And Tracy, I'm really sorry if you didn't get any of that turkey, because that turkey is dang good. So. But no, that's a great story, and again, we love to see that kind of thing. I love that he was totally surprised by it, and she was in, you said 6th grade when she wrote it,
right?
And he was 23.
He was 23 years old.
So yeah, because he was a sniper on a helicopter, and I mean, to get that letter and for him to say how much it meant to him, he still had it.
Still, yeah, he kept that Christmas card all these 48 years. He still had the Christmas card.
That's incredible. That is incredible. Here I have the absolute... We're going to lead off with the scariest story I've read in quite some time. Google has received patents for some monitoring patents that are going to scare the britches off you. What do you got, Wes?
So it's the old home automation that Google Home, I think it's called Google Home, right? That's their version of Alexa, the Amazon Alexa, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, using their camera to kind of pick up on what you're doing in the house, what you're using or what you're wearing, and using that to send you advertisements and try to spam you some more. The one example they gave, which was crazy, is that this technology would allow the camera on the Google Home unit to, like I said, the example they gave is if you're wearing a t-shirt with like a celebrity on it, it would recognize that celebrity, and then it would automatically send you emails every time that celebrity's like in a new movie or has a new record out or whatever.
Yeah,
that's just nuts.
Absolutely. And so this story is one that you guys have heard me rail on this privacy stuff quite a bit. I took a couple of excerpts out of the article that we were reading, and this one is from The Atlantic that wrote one of the stories on it. It says, when Amazon first introduced their Alexa speaker and Google followed with their own speaker, security experts warned that these devices could be turned around to spy on us. And that's exactly what appears to be happening. While there are many good uses for adding sensors for home automation, the danger comes when they are being monitored and used by outside companies with an insatiable desire to know everything about us. The language of these patents makes it clear that Google is acutely aware of the powers of inference it already has. Even without cameras, by augmenting speakers to recognize the noises you make as you move around the house, The Atlantic wrote, the auditory inferences are startling. Google's smart home system can infer if a household member is working from an audio signature of a keyboard clicking, a desk chair moving, and or paper shuffling. Google can make inferences on your mood based on whether it heard voices of crying, on when you're in the kitchen based on the sound of the fridge door opening, on your dental hygiene based on the sounds and images of teeth brushing. Along with what I found, we talk about the nanny state of kids. It's looking like they're going to set it up so that kids can be monitored in a room, and if they do certain things that is pre-programmed, they're not to. And this is the most Jetsons thing we've heard of. It's going to change the color of the lights, turn off internet, all of these things, as if the kids are grounded.
Wow.
So these things are, guys, kids, we got to watch out for this stuff. Now, the one thing the article did talk about was that they're looking for legislation to try to stop this, because right now there is none. They have carte blanche to come after us and steal everything that we know. And, we were talking the other day where I was in a meeting talking about the baseball team in Ridgefield, and we'll see if it happens again.
There you go.
Never have searched anything because I didn't know the name of it or anything. Next day, guess what? On the old cell phony, I get a message on Facebook that the Ridgefield Raiders, or whatever the hell they're called, is having some kind of event. The next day, like I said, I had no idea that it was even Ridgefield. I just knew that it was North County. And I had a notification on Facebook because our phones are listening and they're listening for keywords.
Yeah.
So beware of that, everyone. It's, I hate to be, I'm not tinfoil hat guy, but this stuff is scary.
Yeah.
So, number 2 here in the old hot sheet, we've got Alan Dershowitz. I think this is a little bit of hyperbole, but he thinks the Mueller report's going to be pretty damaging, which is kind of the biggest duh.
Yeah. So I kind of liken it to the whole Hillary Clinton thing, and that is, he said that it'll be very damaging, but it won't have enough weight behind it to lead to any sort of criminal charges. So basically the same thing with the Hillary email probe. Of course, we know Comey was kind of cooking the books now, but anyway, where Comey came out and said, all these violations that occurred, but then there wasn't enough to press any charges. So, and I heard today Trump said some weird thing about he wasn't going to interfere and stop the Mueller investigation, but he wasn't going to promise that he was going to let it go on indefinitely. So that's kind of a mixed message there, but it's just
with the guy that he installed, what is it, Mitchell? What's his name?
Yeah, the acting
AG.
Yeah,
I mean, talk about a walking conflict of interest.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of money this guy's been paid to rally for the right, and it's not a political thing to me. It's about, you need to be objective. You're running the Department of Justice. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be politicized whatsoever. This is the Department of Justice, not the Department of Republicans or Democrats. Yeah. So that's what, my biggest issue with that is. But as far as Dershowitz, and like I said, it's a little bit of hyperbole because he's an attorney and he's used to this kind of stuff. Yeah. But he's no Michael Aventati, though, or whatever his name is, who I think his chances of becoming president are no longer.
I think they're slim to none now.
Number 3, we've got Black Friday foot traffic continues to decline, or it declined just over 1% from last year, but we'll see exactly what that's all about.
Yeah, it's as we've always been hearing these last several years, as the online marketplace continues to grow, people are staying home and doing their shopping online instead. As you alluded to, Black Friday this year, in terms of in-store brick and mortar sales, was down 1.7% compared to last Black Friday. And now they are also finding that as we see the creep into Thanksgiving, where all the stores open at like 6 p.m. on Thanksgiving night.
And I'll rail on that in a second.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Unless you like it.
No.
But now that we see a lot of stores coming in and opening on Thanksgiving evening, they are noticing a traffic shift pattern in there's a lot more people that are doing that now, and therefore Black Friday morning, like at 5 a.m. when stuff used to start, that is now dying down because people are migrating towards the Thursday night stuff. So Black Friday, as we once knew it, now is basically going by the wayside, either people backing up and doing it Thursday night or not doing it, period, and just doing it online instead.
One thing, first of all, the whole shopping on Thanksgiving thing drives me crazy.
Yep.
We get a very short period of time to spend time with loved ones, okay? And Christmas is about the last sacred day we have of the year.
Yeah,
that's not commercialized, right? Yeah. I mean, pretty soon it's going to be the get ready for the next year Christmas sale or something like that. But because we never thought that we'd be to this place on Thanksgiving. Now, we did see a huge shift. I think it was like a 25% jump in the amount of sales on Thanksgiving online.
Yes.
Which I guess, you're sitting there and you've got all the tryptophan flowing and all that good stuff. You're scrolling through and you buy a few things. That's cool. But the whole idea of, I'm all right with people going to movies, do that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But the shopping and the commercialism just drives me crazy. Even wait till Black Friday. Go have fun. Make that a family event.
Right.
But give Thanksgiving its due and just spend the time at home, watch some football, play a game. I don't care what it is, or go see a movie. I guess that's commercial too. But at least you're not out there just bashing your head against everyone else trying to buy a big screen. That's the other thing they said in the article was that once the big ticket items or the big sale items are gone, everyone disappears.
Yep.
So it's like, if that is all they're going for, then put the damn sale off, because they're going to go for it regardless.
Right. Yep.
If it's $300 off a 50-inch television, doesn't matter when you put it up, they're going to go.
Yep.
So, I'm all for give the day its due. And that was, I had to run to Safeway. And Safeway I went to Safeway on Wednesday, cool as a cucumber. Go on Thursday on Thanksgiving, and it was backed up to the meat department. I mean, it was absolutely nuts.
Tia was there like an hour before you.
Yeah, exactly.
And she commented it was kind of crazy. So
I couldn't believe how busy it was. But, and a lot of people, they volunteer for overtime that day and whatnot. But I'm not even a big fan of that. They need to go home and spend time with, at least I would hope that's to each their own, all that good stuff.
And what I was, sorry about the side tangent here, what I was stunned to see is, I forget what we were out of on Thanksgiving morning. Tia thought, oh man, we were out of this. So she
film for your camera?
Yeah, exactly. But so I looked to see what Safeway's hours were, to see what time they closed.
Normal.
Yeah.
Yep. I couldn't believe that.
Normal hours.
Yep.
Unreal.
I thought they'd close at like 6 o'clock or something.
I think like even Wally World, I think, closes for a few hours.
Do they?
I think so.
I don't know about that, but the one thing I wonder about going back to the original story with the foot traffic is what impact having Thanksgiving so early in the season does to the overall traffic for shopping, because this year it was on the 22nd.
Yeah, it was super
and
early,
so it was very early.
Yeah.
Whereas next year it's going to be on the 28th, and it will be, I believe, less than 4 weeks from Thanksgiving next year.
Yeah.
So having an extra 5 shopping days, what does that do to I'm sure that the retailers like it, but what does it do to the overall Black Friday sense? Is it, we got a little extra time, so we don't need to go do that?
True, yeah.
I wonder what kind of impact that has, and if there's any economic impact for that.
And one other number from that article is that on Black Friday itself, just the online sales done on Black Friday this year hit a new record of $6.22 billion.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's a lot of money. And we saw Cyber Monday yesterday, and from what I heard and what I, kind of the rumblings was that it was like your normal sale where they boost the prices and then they put some big splashing, sale 30% off, but we raised the prices 25%.
And even with that we talk about the Black Friday lines getting blurred with it leaching over into Thanksgiving. The Cyber Monday is getting blurred now too, because you got guys like Amazon that make it like a whole weekend now. It's not Cyber Monday anymore.
No, it's not.
So.
And seeing that the sales and what was the numbers that occurred on Thanksgiving online goes to show you that. And the other thing that I found interesting was that those numbers on the foot traffic for Black Friday are going to be skewed by the amount of people that order something and then they go pick it up in the store.
Yes.
So that has an impact on same store purchases, because you're more than likely, if you go into Best Buy to pick up whatever you ordered, you may pick up something else.
You're going to grab something else, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that happening. And there's still something about that tangible, the tactile side of, purchasing something. Going out there, feeling it, seeing if it fits, clothing especially. I mean, it's really hard to order stuff offline if you're going to be wearing it. You know what I mean? I got a new pair of boots. I would never go and order a pair of boots online. I want to feel them. I want to see what their construction feels like, all that stuff. So that I just can't see that that's ever going to be supplanted by strictly online sales.
Yeah.
Until we were talking about earlier, when the drones just start dropping all of our whole lives to us because Amazon's taking it over.
You bet.
Well, our good friend in, where the heck is he? Cincinnati has been arrested for the 54th time for holding a lady hostage for $100 from a check cashing place.
Yeah. So this guy, his kind of an unmistakable face.
Yeah,
he's covered with face tattoos,
straight cash, homie,
including a $sign over his eye. That's classy.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. So as you said,
he works for J.P. Morgan.
He was arrested for the 54th time in his life, and he's only 35 years old.
That's what I found amazing, was he was 35 and he's been arrested 54 times.
And the charges ranging from burglary to domestic violence to now they charge him with kidnapping for holding this lady hostage.
Yeah, right.
And so my big question is, how is he still on the streets after the last 40 arrests? Why is he not locked up?
He hasn't hit the 56 strike rule yet.
He's
on the cusp.
Yeah, no kidding.
But he's not there yet.
What a waste.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. And the fact that it was over $100... And it was a gal's sister, I believe, that called the cops and said he was holding her hostage for $100 from a check cashing place in Cincinnati. And in Cincinnati, I mean, that's kind of is Hugh Jackson there now, and he's involved because he's a coach now with them. Yeah. Sorry, not to make light of somebody being held hostage, but that was, 54 times. It's like Cheers now when he walks in. It's like Craig or whatever the hell his name is. Money Face.
Yeah, that's obnoxious that he's even out there to get arrested that many times.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's somebody around the United States that's got him beat.
Yeah.
So, number 5 here. China evidently is not a big fan of the new car smell.
Yeah.
I find that not hard to believe whatsoever because I don't think it's that great of a smell myself.
Oh, really?
I've never owned a new car, but I've gotten in a new one and I don't find it.
I like it.
Like people have the car scent.
Yeah, I don't go that far.
Me neither.
Only the authentic stuff.
Oh yeah, straight. Yeah, look at big dog.
So they don't like the new car smell, but they like the all the haze and pollution.
Exactly.
That smells real nice.
Well, it's because the government tells them they like.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So as you said, the general population of China is not too fond of the new car smell. So Ford has now filed for a patent to be able to remove that smell from the car. So I guess they're going to do some other adding chemicals onto chemicals to cancel the smell out.
That'll work out well.
And then speaking of the chemicals, some researchers claim that the new car smell, can be toxic because there are as many as 50 volatile organic chemicals given off from your leathers and your plastics and all the other garbage in there.
Yeah. That's why you should drive around with your windows open.
Ventilated.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. I thought it was, on a side note, did you see, this not on the notes, that GM is doing a big round of layoffs and they're going to cancel 6 different cars.
Well, I didn't see they were going to cancel cars. I saw that they're doing a big round of layoffs because they made like $130 million on the tax break, but they lost $1 billion because of the tariffs.
Yep.
So, hey, thank you very much. But a lot of that has to do with the union. So
I'll see if I can remember. It's the Buick Enclave, which is like their sedan. Mm-hmm. It's the Chevy Volt, the electric car.
Really?
They're killing that. The Chevy
Shocking.
Yeah. the Chevy Cruze, which is the
mid-size
sister of the Volt, the non-electric version. The Malibu, of all things.
Really?
They're killing the Malibu next year.
That's kind of their Ford or Taurus type. It's the large size sedan, right?
Yep. It's their full size, yeah. And then the other 2 are caddies. It's the CTX and like the ATX anyway, it's two Cadillac sedans that they're killing off. So pretty surprising.
Well, it's surprising, but if we've got tariffs that are taking them down $1 billion, and I certainly don't want to bail them out again because they're not too good at paying us back.
And we see, obviously, the market has shifted back towards the SUV and truck kind of thing, and these are all cars that they're killing off, obviously, because they're not selling well anymore.
I just think that at some point the SUVs and all that, with the advent of the electric cars, and it's one thing to get decent fuel mileage, but you can offset the cost of an $80,000 car because you're not getting 12 miles to the gallon to some degree. And now what I saw, the Tesla, Model X does sub or 0 to 60 in 3 seconds.
Wow.
For an SUV. That is crazy talk. That is insane. So, speaking of fuel prices, going right into the trifecta here, evidently the Parisians don't have anything better to do than get tear gas fired at them because of this is, again, the government shouldn't be involved in it, but they're pissed off at Emmanuel Macron, or whatever his name is, Macaroni, for the not controlling the fuel prices.
Yeah, and so this is 30,000 protesters in the city of Paris that took to the streets and were met with tear gas and water cannons. This is in regards to, as you said, rising fuel prices. And these protests against the fuel prices have the support of 73% of residents. That's massive.
That's huge.
And over in Europe, of course, diesel is the big thing over there.
Yeah.
And so just some interesting numbers. Diesel is up 23% this year, the cost of diesel. And so I ran the numbers because over there they sell it obviously in
liters,
liters per euro. So I did the conversions last night. So I wrote it down here to US dollars per gallon, like how we would buy fuel here. So the current price of diesel over there is the equivalent of $6.49 a gallon.
Wow.
Can you imagine filling up your truck, $6.49 a gallon?
I would not like to. Well, it's like when you go to Canada, though.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
I mean, when it's $2 a liter up there.
And then this is the highest it's been in 20 years. And these prices were already skyrocketing. And then they added insult to injury this last year. They tacked on a carbon tax, which added another 34 cents, again, equivalency, 34 cents per gallon equivalent to their diesel prices.
Do they not understand that the fuel prices are not something that the government dictates? It's a commodity that's traded, and we actually hit 52-week lows last week, and that these prices will be coming down. I mean, 2 months ago we were at 52-week highs.
Yeah.
And now we're at lows. And
of course, the problem with these guys is they have all the artificial taxes tacked onto it too. So even if the oil prices drop, you're still going to be saddled with tons and tons of taxes on there. So,
but you would think that those taxes, because the oil was at all-time highs just a few months ago, why are they bitching now and not then?
Right.
I mean, it's like, it's mid-November and the Americans have Thanksgiving, so we're bored.
Yep.
We're gonna, and
get some attention.
Yeah, and they said they were barricading the Champs-Élysées with people. I mean, that's crazy talk. These guys would need a hobby or something. So, I don't know. That's fuel prices, and I think a big impact on the fuel prices was Trump going lockstep with Saudi Arabia and the Crown Prince there, and because we weren't going to put sanctions on them, that had an impact on the fuel prices and the nat gas prices. Because I saw an actual video, I don't know if you saw this, a little side tangent, on a hedge fund that got caught by they were shorting nat gas, I guess, and it completely wiped out their hedge fund.
Wow.
And this guy made a 10-minute YouTube video basically apologizing for it. And he was starting to cry, but I guess they were pretty speculative. I don't know. It's from optionsellers.com, some Tampa, Florida company. So I'll put the video up tomorrow. Let me put the note down in the show notes here for that, because it's sad. They had 272 clients that got notices for debits to their account because they lost so much that they went in the red.
Yeah.
For their accounts. So they were going. The email that they got was, "Get ready because we're charging you for the money we lost for you, not we made for you." So let me take a note here real quick. But that was crazy. It was James Cordier was his name.
Okay.
I read the story on, I don't know, Wednesday or Thursday or something like that. So I mean, it's sad that they got caught in a really bad position. I guess it was one of those perfect storm wave type situations. So number 2 here, I found this story to be really interesting, not so much because an American, a Washingtonian was local guy was killed in North Sentinel Island off the coast of India. What do you want to tell us about?
Yeah, so this is a missionary originally from Vancouver, Washington, not too far away from where we record. He had gone to India and had convinced a couple of locals to take him to this island that is inhabited by a native tribe that has zero contact with the outside world. And there are laws on the books in India there forbidding people from going to that island because they don't want to transmit diseases, because obviously something as simple as a cold could probably kill the people over there. But anyway, so this kid, guy, I guess, thought he'd just go ahead and throw caution to the wind, and it's sad and kind of weird at the same time. Do you see what he brought over as like a peace offering before they killed him?
I didn't see what that
He brought a football. Like, what do they do with a football? He brought a football and something else. It was like two Americanized things. It's like they would have any clue what the heck you're doing.
They can't believe who you are. I mean, let alone you bring us the pigskin.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't make sense.
So sadly, he was killed. He basically he stepped foot on the island. They shot at him with arrows. He jumped back in his boat, paddled back out to sea a little ways, let him calm down, and then he thought it'd be a great idea to go give it another shot. So he paddled back in there, got out of the boat onto the beach, and they shot at him again and killed him this time. And then and they've since buried his body on the beach, and Indian authorities are now trying to figure out if there's a way they can get his body. And
well, they tried to approach the island, and they all shot at. Yeah, they got shot at, and they, I mean, not that they couldn't go in there and through physical brute force go get him, but the big thing that I find interesting is that you have this, I don't want to call it a society, it's a tribe that is completely cut off, but that has to mean that they've got to be so inbred to some degree, because it's not very many people. I mean, it's just dozens of people that have been there for, who knows how long. And so, I mean, how inbred are they really? And what, I mean, it would be a real kind of picture into the past, though, to go there. But evidently there's, they've been expanding these islands, and 35 miles away they've got resorts and all this crap. So, I mean, at some point in time, it's going, they're going to be,
and then I guess
subjected to us. Or to
when they had a tsunami, I don't know, last year or a couple of years ago in the area, and so the Indian either Navy or Coast Guard flew a chopper over the island to try to get a head count of these, to see this tribe, to see how many were left after this tsunami went through. And they're going with a low pass with a chopper, and they're getting arrows shot at them.
Oh, I'm sure.
The chopper, yeah. So it's pretty wild. I mean, can you imagine if you've never had any it's like a UFO flying over you? You're going to be freaked out. So.
Absolutely, and I mean, it is. From what they said in the article, it's one of the last, or maybe the last place on Earth that is truly cut off and has no technology or anything like that. I mean, they're hunter-gatherers. I mean, it's like going back in 1,000 years ago or something. So, I know that's pretty interesting.
But I just thought, there's laws on the book, yet this guy thought he'd, be the big man and try to...
I mean, I'm all for...
and people had tried it before and been killed, so how did he think that he was going to not get killed? And then to try to do the peace offering with a football, it's like, that just blew me away. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that. And, being a missionary is great, and that's, to each their own. Go out there and do what you believe. But there's also, yes, God gave us free will, but he also gave us common sense.
Yeah.
And, I mean, laws are there for a reason, and why put those people at risk for the diseases? That's a huge thing. Their immune systems, the microbes that he himself brought over, may have endangered them already because they had contact with them. So that's, I don't know, to some degree you have to think that was it a selfish act or what? What was the reason for doing that? Because didn't he actually make a little bit of contact with them and was able to read and talk some to them?
I think, that first
but they don't understand English.
Exactly. So, what's the point of that?
They don't. I mean, we don't know what language they even speak. So, I mean, it is a truly secret society. So, well, number 3 here in the trifecta is we've got the migrant caravan coming up, and evidently President Trump says that there is an agreement with Mexico, and Mexico does deny it.
Yeah, so this the original story came out last week, at the end of last week, that Trump claimed he had a deal reached with the incoming administration because Mexico has elected a new president, and he supposedly had worked out this deal with the new incoming president that they were going to hold all the migrants on their side of the border while we looked at asylum claims and process that kind of stuff. And then a few days later, the incoming administration issued a statement saying, no, we didn't agree to anything.
Yeah, that's...
So it's like...
How does that work?
Yeah, it's again... I don't know. It's the whole, shoot first, aim later kind of thing with Trump. He just loves to spout off and make things sound rosy and good. And then here we go now with a conflict potentially that, was he lying or is, who's not telling the truth? But
yeah, because somebody's not, and it's going to come out at some point as to what the truth really is.
And then additionally, the San Ysidro border was closed, sealed off because of too many migrants making it through. And hi, Jennifer. And now Trump has gone beyond that and has threatened to close the border all across, at all ports of entry. So whether or not he takes it to that extreme, I don't know. But
he can't. I mean, I just can't see that would be viable whatsoever. Yeah. And so there's no good. I don't know that there's any good way for this to end that makes sense. I mean, who knows how the Mexican authorities are going to handle things, and who knows how we're going to handle it. But I don't think that force is the answer, because I mean, there's all kinds of people that are making way across the border in a car. Mm-hmm. So just because they've decided to come up, I mean, if you see it, there's thousands of people that cross the border every single day, right? These people are the same as them. So I'm not trying to have an answer or anything like that, but just because they're walking doesn't mean that everyone else is coming across with heroin and methamphetamine and all that kind of stuff, as we had a local story that touched us with John Bishop and that. So it's he got 5 years for bringing that stuff across. So anyway, but yeah, that's it's an unfortunate deal. I mean, it's a sad situation, and we'd see reports of tear gas being fired and that kind of stuff. So it's who knows how that'll end up. So, well, we've oh, stop it, jeez Louise, interrupt me because of my Apple Pencil. But anyway, well, we've got crunch time, or I'm going to tell a funny story.
Oh, okay.
Just to lighten things up a little bit here. So last night we got the old wood stove upstairs, and Wes is already laughing at this because as I look at everyone out there in Facebook land that's watching, and anyone that decides to go to our YouTube channel and check it out, you can go to kineticchaos.com and see the video for every one of our shows that we live broadcast from our YouTube channel. So I'm looking over here at the monitor, and my hair, my part, as Cousin Eddie would say, is a little bit messed up, and that's because last night I'm going to load the stove up with some wood. And I open the door, and I'm looking down into the firebox, and all of a sudden it backdrafts, and it blows a huge fireball up to my face, and it singes my eyebrows. And if you want to get in tight here, Wes, you can see there's a big chunk of my hair missing. So yeah, I now have a premature hairline malfunction, if you will. I don't know if you can see it too close there, but yeah, it's significant.
Question is, did the flames seal off those hair follicles so it will never grow again?
That's what I'm wondering. I have no idea if I've now permanently lost hair there. I'm sure that the product that I use in my hair didn't help the situation.
Rogaine?
No, not Rogaine, you SOB. But it's still, this morning when I got in the shower, I was at the gym this morning. I could smell burnt hair. I got in the shower this morning. I could smell burnt hair. And the one thing that's nice is that, you get this little hair here, like Anthony Davis of the Pelicans, they get the unibrow. Not that I have a unibrow, but you get that hair there, right in between the old eyebrows. All mine's gone now. I don't have to worry about it for quite some time. The part of my eyebrow removed. And like I said, back up here to the 5 head, we're missing some hair up there. So that was an interesting way to end Monday. Kim was wondering if I was all right. And I'm like, what's wrong, hon? Kind of a, what was his name on Christmas Vacation? How Grace is, not Grace. What was the uncle? what the hell is his name? Anyway,
I know.
when he lights the stogie and that was basically what it was out of the stove. So yeah, it just completely lit me up. So after Kim figured out that I was all right, she started to laugh at me mightily.
It's understandable.
Yeah, because it was pretty awesome. Not so much, but anyway. So you have a crunch time?
I do, and this was not brought to my attention, but this was spurred on by an event that I witnessed yesterday. I was heading out to our friends at DeWill's to drop off a basket for the Girls Night Out charity event that's coming up
next Tuesday,
a week from tonight. And I've had the displeasure of traveling this road before because it's one of the roads that leads to my in-laws, that being the old 503, which is just absolute gridlock during rush hour. Mm-hmm. So I shot down 4th Plane going perpendicular, and I came to that intersection, and I was probably, 15 cars deep, and I had to sit through like 4 lights because what happens is the cross traffic comes into the intersection and they get backed up, so you have traffic backed up through the intersection. So when your light turns green, you can't go anywhere because you got cars parked in front of you in the intersection. And so I had to sit through that for like 10 minutes trying to get through this intersection because the idiots, when their light turns green, they can't see on the other side of the intersection that the cars aren't moving, so let's just go ahead and pull up there anyway and let's block the intersection.
Exactly. And
that drives me nuts. And I used to see it a lot.
We are old guys, get off my lawn, because I think we use crunch time about half the time for some kind of traffic thing that just pisses us off. Because, me and my merging thing, and now you and the traffic situation.
And it kind of cracked me up because it reminds me like the full-on New York moment is that what's it going to do? But I finally, after several lights and several instances of people blocking the intersection, I make it up to about 3 cars away. Light turns green. Again, there's traffic parked in the intersection, so you can't go anywhere.
Right.
And nobody's moving. So the guy up front just lays on the horn and like keeps it on for like 30 seconds.
Nice.
And I'm like, this sounds like Manhattan right now. It's like it's cracking me up. But it's just people that just have zero situational awareness. That if I go, I'm gonna. Oh yeah. Everybody's in it for themselves. They don't care if they're gonna mess somebody else up.
And these things and all of that, they're not aware. They're not looking around. Whatever. So I'm going to kind of piggyback off this, but I get to say that. So Derek and I went to the Civil War on Friday.
Oh yeah.
And had a blast. Even though the score was not indicative of a good time, we still had a lot of fun. So I thought we got down there early. We took game time's 1:00. We take off at 8. We're rallying down the road, whatever, have a good drive down there, no traffic whatsoever. Oh, thank you very much, Steve. Steve mentions Bald and the Beautiful. Yes, I am not quite there yet, but a few more backdrafts and I very well could be. So you get down there, go to the game, but when we got there, I wanted to be close to the truck where we parked because we were going to go to the bookstore, and I didn't want to have to walk around the stadium with our whatever gear we got at the bookstore. So, and the bookstore was absolutely bananas. Anyway, so we park right off the freeway, and it's maybe 5-6 blocks from the bookstore, which is across the street from the stadium. I'm like, sweet, I'm close. I'm going to get out real easy after the game, and I got in easy, all that. Go to the game, not the best game ever, but we had a great time. Did see some college kids shotgunning a beer in the bathroom. Always a highlight when you're with your 12-year-old kid to watch 4 drunk college students blowing beer all over themselves. Anyway, so we walk back. Lo and behold, when we get back after the game to the truck, and it is just raining cats and dogs, the police have the road blocked off. Oh, no bueno. Well, so it took a solid 15 minutes just to get out of my parking spot. And there was an Acura in front of me, and the people were evidently really upset that there was all of this traffic because it was parked. I mean, it was a bad situation. We were basically at the end of the street, and we had to wind through a couple of streets to get out of town. Well, these guys so we are probably a block away from where the police have the roadblock. No other way to get out. Okay, you have to take a left. Otherwise it's just houses. This car decides to drive over the lawn, but instead of cutting everyone off to go left, they think that they're reinventing the wheel and they go right. And I'm just laughing
towards the cops,
towards where they have the car. So basically, putting them in the very end of the line, as far back in the line as possible. And I was laughing my rear end off because I'm like, you know what? That's what you get for not having situational awareness. Somebody got out of the car and looked down the street, but it was dusk, so they couldn't see that the dark-colored police car was blocking everyone. So they're like, oh yeah, go this way. I can see him pointing to them. So they drive in between like the wire that comes down from the light post.
Oh, jeez.
They drive under that, over the grass, the front yard of this house that we're, near where we were parked. And I'm just laughing. I'm like, because Derek and I walked past the police car. And I'm like, you dingbat, you didn't see that. So they got down there. 45 minutes later, when we finally got out, I could see them about 5 cars back, still parked there. And I was just, that was sweet vindication for people not paying attention and just speaking of situational awareness. But yeah, no, that was pretty funny. But overall, the game, even if the Beavs didn't win, and I have to say they had the worst trick play. And again, I'm going to write this.
That was outrageous. Yep, I was watching.
Trick play for OSU because it was the worst trick play in the history of trick plays. Yep. And what were they thinking? Paint the picture. I'm going to put the video up for the after show notes tomorrow. But they did this double reverse pass back to the quarterback who was then going to pass it. Oh my gosh! It was.
Meanwhile, the entire defensive line had penetrated.
Exactly.
So there was
It was absolutely horrible. I mean, it took like 11 and a half minutes for the play to develop, and all of the Ducks were sitting back there roasting marshmallows, and they had no idea why the play got blown up. Fumble, and Oregon gets the ball and go down. And you know what? We actually we were behind at the half, but we've come back. We had a really good comeback against Colorado. Came out in the second half. This was the first drive of the second half for the Beavs, and I thought, hey, if we can get this one, we got a shot at maybe making a game of it. I didn't think we could come back and win, but making a game, no, they pull that, and I'm like, how do we do this? How in the world do we take, and we're driving, anyway, I won't belabor the point.
So we're going to start a pool on the fire Jonathan Smith?
Oh, no, Jonathan's he's in for the long haul. You got to give him a chance to,
to screw up more.
Shut it, okay? What did you win? 3 games this year?
I think so.
1 more game than us, but you did beat USC. So
that was the season.
I can't believe that it was the season saver for Chip.
Yep.
But yeah, that was pretty incredible. A lot of not a lot of great games. Although I will say it was a blast to watch the Apple Cup.
Yes,
Derek and I got back in time we listened to the first half.
Yeah, there you go, Holly. That
Sorry,
was for you.
Joe.
Apple Cup.
Yeah. It was a blast to watch the snow because any football game in the snow is just incredible to watch. I love it, and it was a kick in the pants. Didn't turn out quite the way I anticipated or wanted, but that's the problem with having an air raid offense and a blizzard to play.
Have you ever attended a football game in the snow?
I don't believe that I've played, backyard football here at the stadium at Fishback in the snow, but I myself have not attended a game. I don't believe.
I did one time, and this shows you how old it was. It was the Atlanta Falcons at Seattle, and I think it was right after CenturyLink opened.
Really?
And the QB for the Falcons, Michael Vick.
Really?
And it was New Year's Day. It was the last game of the year. It was on New Year's Day. Yeah. And it's back when the Seahawks were terrible. And so it It's not really news, I know.
Oh, no, they got a legit team now, buddy.
Yeah.
They've got a shot. They're going to go into, I mean, no delusions of grandeur that they're going to win the Super Bowl or anything, but they've got a hell of a lot better team than a lot of people thought they would.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
They'll miss the wild card. It's okay. But anyway, when the Seahawks were terrible, I found tickets, a scalper, online for dirt cheap, and we ended up in the club level, the 200 level, with like the black recliner seats.
Really?
With the suites behind you and stuff like that, on the 20-yard line in the front row of that section.
Wow.
So I took my dad. He and I went up there, and I don't even think we thought it was going to snow, but like halfway up there. So
you're wearing a T-shirt like normal?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Halfway up there, the flakes start flying on the car, and we get to the game, and it just keeps increasing. And it didn't really accumulate that much, but it was snowy throughout the entire game. It was kind of a cool experience.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
No, we don't get snow that often down here, but we, it's just fun. Even on TV. I think TV plays even a better. It just adds such an element to the game watching the snow. Yeah. So I really enjoy that any time that I can. That's why I like kind of December football in general. Like Pittsburgh, you get a Pittsburgh and Baltimore game in the snow, because either one of those cities it can snow in easily, and they're just such a smash mouth football, both of them teams, that's a lot of fun. So what's your prediction for the Pac-12 championship? I can't stand championship games, but or these games, but yes you do, Hojo. Who do you think wins, Washington or Utah?
I got a UU dub.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a bloodbath, actually.
Yeah.
Although Utah beat them earlier this year, I believe, but I think that they've got the ball in their court, and they're going to pull it off. So
it's the wrong sport, though. There's not a court with football, but
right, yeah.
Just had to throw that one in there.
Go Utah, Joe says, right? Wow.
Yeah.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Yep. Is that how that works, Holly?
That's right.
I can imagine. Well, kids, I think that about does it for episode 64 for KCP. We thank you guys for watching, listening, and we will see you, and you can hear us on Thursday and Friday. We will be out. We got PMP coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to record tonight, and we drop that tomorrow.
Yeah, we got Tech 2 on Thursday. You guys check out Tech 2 and Platinum Moms, but Tech 2's been doing some really cool stuff, and they've got some other stuff coming up soon. So all the shows will have Derek's calming down a little bit with sports and whatnot, so we'll have KCP Kids coming back, and we're actually starting some streaming stuff. We've been working on that behind the scenes, so he's putting together some streaming Twitch type stuff for our gaming channel, so we'll have that announced very soon. And Monday, December 3rd, I will be launching a real estate podcast.
Very
cool.
So
that will begin on December 3rd. It will be targeted at anyone and everyone interested in real estate, from buyers, sellers, real estate brokers, industry partners like inspectors, all that kind of stuff. So we'll have that starting on December 3rd. It will be the Reality in Real Estate podcast is the name of the show. So look for that coming up on Monday, December 3rd. You got anything else?
I got nothing.
Well, thank you very much. This has been Kinetic Chaos podcast number 64. We will see you later.
See ya.
We gone. Facebook, thank you very much for watching, kids. It's been a lot of fun. You can hear me now, but you can't hear me then.
So be sure, those of you who are still with us, be sure to tune in on Thursday for the next freestyle episode. We'll have some fun with some interesting topics. I gotta come up with some stuff, but
yeah, right. Come on.
Never fear. We'll see you guys Thursday. Take care.
We go.